Yo, so what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is more so about like songwriting as opposed to the typical beat making. I've been saying out loud for like a while over the past couple of days that like people think I'm just a beat maker, you know what I mean? And like I think sometimes we get a little bit too focused because it gratifies the ego to say what people think. But really, like, what never ever mattered was what people thought. What people thought, you know. What really mattered was the fact that we wanted to talk about the fact that people thought something because it would gratify our ego to say that people were, what I'm saying, thinking about us or talking about us. But I had a really cool artist. Actually, I don't really know too much about him at all, but seemed like a really great person. Try to buy some of the tracks, that I've been doing lately to rap over them. And it really made me like focus on the fact that like, I have full albums and songs that I've done over time. And, I think of myself as a full artist, but I haven't been showing you all that. And I think that it allowed itself to be like a necessary stimuli to motivate me to start back like writing with my songs. And so once I finally solidified, the habit of creating tracks daily and everything like that, it gave me the ability to be able to kind of like really hone in and incorporate another habit, which is, me writing songs and songwriting to my own music. And so I'm really happy that that could encourage me to do so. But basically, I wanted to talk a little bit about The Beholder's Eye. That's a track that we made yesterday. And with The Beholder's Eye, it came from like this concept of like, you know, um, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so to speak, right? So beautiful things are beautiful to different people. I think there does come a point in time where people are like, yo, I love this. It's beautiful. I like it. And like a lot of people start liking it. And now we're kind of talking about popular culture. And that's cool. I don't want to knock popular culture, but I wrote this concept down while I was reading a book. And the concept came out in the book, of course. But like the thing about the concept was that I started to think about like my mind seeing that people like love the music or love the beats that I was making at the time, and they're kind of like beats and music because they don't have any words to it or anything like that. But lo and behold, I just kind of wanted to maybe generically in some senses specific or specificity, I wanted to talk about the fact that like just kind of cover the concept of like people that excuse me people that see something that's beautiful and they think it's beautiful. Like, I don't want to question whether it's beautiful or not, or maybe I do want to question whether it's beautiful or not, but like I really want to spend some time just kind of talking about, the concept of beauty and the concept of like what type of people find that thing to be beauty, and just kind of like at a generic level, you know, talking about like, how people are just attracted to different things and how they like different things and just kind of like that experience and everything. Um, I took my journal to work today and I wrote a little bit about it. I wrote kind of like some basic poetry. I made things real simple and I just kept it like poetry. And honestly, like I went back and I kind of looked at some Foggy Raw videos, man. Like, cause he's a poet. You know what I mean? Like it appears as though people that rap are rappers, but if you really look at it, it kind of reminds me of this hoodie that my buddy Ray Sean wears, and somebody else wears it too. I can't remember. It's a lady with a brand, but it says that poetry is the mother of rap, or poetry is the mother of hip hop, or something like that. And I really love it because it's so true. It's just like a good joke. You know what I'm saying? Like the best joke resonates in some sense of truth. Most jokes that are really, really good, people recognize them as having some truth involved in them and everything like that. So I just kind of wanted to talk about that concept of like how, you know, uh, we see things that are beautiful and we call them beautiful. And like, is it really beautiful? I mean, the truth is, yeah, it is beautiful because a person said it's beautiful. And even if you think it's beautiful, even if nobody else says it's beautiful. Because what? the beauty is in the eye of the beholders. Therefore, that's why the song is called um, "The Beholder's Eye." So I'm gonna kind of get into like we're gonna go dip into the studio like that and just kind of write a little bit and everything like that. And I want to kind of talk through some of the word choices and things that I'm using, and things that I'm gonna decide to use, and everything like that. Um, I'm gonna show you all some clips of me doing like some acapella and everything like that, because I haven't recorded the song yet, but I'm gonna go in and talk a little bit about my word usage, probably expand some of the verses a little bit more, and come up with a chorus. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll kind of like start to record that. And at the same time, I think it makes a lot of sense if we maybe think about song structure. Maybe because like today is like the first day doing this, I maybe won't structure songs so much, but we'll kind of like approach the song as if it's kind of like a loop and not really cut too many things in the instrumentation away. Just to kind of get in the habit. I also would say that like y'all, man, if y'all want to start something to do something, just make sure that like you establish one good habit before like uh, cascading or stacking, multiple, layers and everything like that. Just establish foundation and everything. But yeah, let's go ahead and go in the studio then. Yo, so what's going on, y'all? Right now as you can see, we're back in the studio and everything like that. The One of the most familiar places of the channel and everything like that. But I wanted to kind of take you guys through like writing the lyrics, and pretty much essentially like how the story just really takes shape. Um, I'm going to show you some of my notes and just kind of show you how some of the lyrics like evolved. It kind of started off like it's just like a bunch of thoughts um, centered around the Beholder's Eye beat video. You know what I'm saying? So that's the previous film from yesterday. I don't know if you saw it or not, but you can definitely. I mean, I can try to tag it. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere in the video and everything like that for sure. So you can kind of go back and connect the two if you like. But this track, this songwriting session right here started kind of from actually a segment that I was reading in Rick Rubin's The Creative Act book. I listened to it on audio, and while I was listening to it, I took like these notes of just different things that would pop out to me. And it might have been just two words, put them together kind of thing. And one of the things that popped out to me was I think Rick Rubin might have said the eye of the beholder. And when I heard him say the eye of the beholder, I thought about it in reverse. And I thought about, instead of like talking about the eye of the beholder, just kind of flip it on his backside, reciprocate it, and do the beholder's eye. So it's kind of talking more about the eye versus the action of beholding that beauty. You know what I mean? I felt like it sounded like a dope track. So I like I like essentially wrote down like a whole list of song titles that maybe you can see right here. And you can notice like right there where I pointed to has the beholder's eye on there. And so like after I kind of wrote down the beholder's eye, I then the next day made the beat video, you know what I'm saying, the beat film on that track. And the track was like titled that. I didn't title it in the beginning, so I wasn't like focused on that like during the beginning of the film, which is like something I heard that like once upon a time, like Kanye West did that with a track. He kind of like approached the track and a whole album by going through the art aesthetic first. Like he had all of the artwork first, had the whole aesthetic, and was able to kind of sit it somewhere in the studio and focus on that visual anytime they made or created sound, so that they could kind of have that focus and that subconscious focus on the artwork and connecting the visual aesthetic with the sonic aesthetic, the lyrical content, all of that, the literature, the thoughts, the emotions. You could kind of focus all of those on colors and etc. You know, but that's not what I had. I just had like words, you know what I mean? And I thought about those words like for the writing portion and not necessarily for the music. So it's possible that there could be a sense of like disconnectedness or disjointedness, I guess if that's the word. It could feel rather disjointed, um, depending on whether it feels like the music is like telling the story of the eye, the beholder's eye, so to speak. I mean, we'll be able to see that at the end. Maybe we can't think about that now. I mean, maybe if you had like a trap track and it had like real hard hitting subs and kicks and all of that kind of stuff, maybe it doesn't seem like the type of track that you should be talking about the beholder's eye or beauty or anything like that. But maybe just the whole opposite and the contrast thereof could make things all the more interesting. But you know, I kind of show you how like my notes evolved into lyrics. Like I like the day after kind of the beat, you know what I mean? I published a blog on my website on patrickgregorydaniels.com, and I wrote it this morning at 6:41 a.m. So like last night, maybe 10, 11 o'clock or something like that, the Beholder's Eye um, music dropped on YouTube. I dropped that film yesterday, but after kind of like reflecting at night and reflecting a little bit on the morning, on the way to work, I vocally dictated to my notes section on my iPhone a blog, when I uploaded that to my website, and you can kind of see like the rough draft, kind of, well, not the rough draft, but you can kind of see this here on my phone. So yeah, I wrote that this morning, and it basically says that today is somewhat of a retrospective because it's already the next day, and I'm writing the previous day's blog right now. I think that I noticed that to me, I had a really, really awesome day. I'm looking forward to a new guitar being shipped to me and also a brand new amplifier. I'm very excited that with the combination of these two together that I might be able to achieve some sort of focused tone that is descriptive of the jazz color and sound. I also realize that maybe I'm really excited because I'm expecting something new. I don't think that's a bad thing. However, I do pay attention to the fact that a sense of newness is what I feel maybe is somehow sparking this joy. I wonder if I can just have this joy even if I'm not receiving something new. I also wrote a song, and it was primarily the music, no words. I'm expanding my palette to something that I once used to do pretty often, and that is songwriting along to my music. The focus all along was for me to write to my songs, but somehow in this world of hurry up and release your art so that people can pay attention to you, I sort of got lost and I didn't put words to my songs. And I released a large collection of instrumentals continually. Today on March 25th, 2025, sort of marks the day where every other day I'm making a song, and by that I mean the music following the second and fourth day of the week. I'll be actually placing lyrics to the songs. I can't lie, I'm a bit nervous about getting things perfect. I'm a little nervous about whether whether what I write will sound good or not. I'm also pretty nervous if I can get it done within the day. All of these things have given me so much to think about and so much not to think about. My main focus is to get involved in the process and experience the process. So I would show you guys the guitar and the amplifier so y'all would know what I was talking about in the film, but I'll save that, you know what I'm saying, for another moment and everything like that. But like, I wanted you guys to kind of just be able to have that opportunity to really just see my notes and how all of this basically like evolved into lyrics and everything like that. But I want to also kind of talk with y'all about word choices and structure and just kind of like any changes or whatever that I made. I was thinking about also like singing like some acapellas for you all and like testing out melodies. But to be honest, like I really feel like that is what's kind of dictated through the music. So we'll figure that out once I'm like actually kind of like recording, even though like melody doesn't have to be pushed by a note, so to speak. That's just kind of like rhythms, you know what I mean? Like dee da 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 da. You know, it doesn't matter not whether it's going dee da 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 or dee da 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 da. You know, that's bringing more like key and pitch and everything into it. But I do want to talk to you guys like briefly about like my word choices and structure and like any kind of like changes. So kind of what I did was, you know, I use my notebook here, you know, which is like, you know, don't let my mama see this, y'all. Don't share it with her. This is my mom's like 80s address book that like I repurposed for like a lyric book or whatever. Um, but I kept it really simple, you know what I mean? I'll let you kind of see what it looks like here. But I kind of wrote just very simple, like four stanzas um, in the car at work today. I think a couple of things came to my mind at work. But what I wrote so far is, and I don't know which one I'm gonna use for like chorus and or hook or whatever. But we've got initially like, I wonder if you love what I did, or do you love it just because I did? I often get curious about life's happenings, thinking deeply about shallow things like Benjamin Lauren did. I felt them observing me with humor. It appeared to be presumed with pleasure. They saw me gathering another man's trash, but it was really my own treasure. I saw you in our high school band room. Now I see you every day of my life. Some failed to invest in your friendship. I opened up life insurance and made you my wife. There's no path to happiness because the path is happiness. I'm living and loving who I am because the present ain't a status. So I kept it really simple and like I, you know, just kind of did like a, what is this, like A B A B A B A B C B, and then I have A B A. So there's kind of like some, you know, there's some rhyme, you know, no rhyme and then a rhyme, or there's like rhyme, no rhyme, and then a rhyme and a rhyme. You know, somewhere in there, there's like a sense of rhythm to kind of introduce a different idea, but then there's like a sense of connectivity with the next line, um, in terms of using rhyme as a way to connect pattern and or story. Um, in terms of like word usage, sometimes you can't, I don't want to say you can't, but sometimes it's easier to just keep a simple amount of words in a sentence or a bar so that you can kind of fit it all in to that space without having to kind of like speed up too much or do any like weird things to make it fit, which is still really unique when you make it fit by alternating different types of, you know, whatever it is, like holding on to a word. And that last line on the first kind of stanza situation, I said thinking deeply about shallow things like Benjamin Lauren did. There's a lot of words for that line, so it's possible, like I have in a parentheses right here where it says thinking deeply about shallow things like 3000 did, because it could be shorter to say 3000 than Benjamin Lauren. You know, it's five syllables in that, whereas you could just say 3000 and that's like three syllables. So with the lesser syllables, you can kind of like fit things more in there. But I'm not going to teach you guys how to rhyme or anything. I just really wanted to kind of like talk to you all about word choices and structure in this particular, like writing the lyrics portion. Now I'm gonna you know, get ready to like walk us through the beat, um, explain maybe why certain elements fit the emotion of the song, and then maybe kind of show you guys a contrast between the first draft and the final version, because when I get ready to start like recording this, there might be some things that like don't fit, and I like actually need to make some edits and everything like that. So this will kind of be more like a, I think it'll be like kind of like a dry run. I think I'll end up maybe needing to perhaps omit a verse because I have four stanzas and I haven't selected a chorus yet. So, you know, I wrote four down here, so I can either I mean maybe I can connect like keep I mean, cause like 4 bars, I can do like 8 bar verses. Because I have like a total of 16 lines here. So what I'm proposing is that I perhaps use, you know, those eight bars for each verse, and then I just come up with another set of maybe 4 or 8, for the chorus, so to speak. And I think we might do it that way. So let's go ahead and get to basically yeah. We're gonna walk through the beat and the chords and arrangement, everything like that. Yeah. Through the beat with you, the structure, the sequences, the chords, and or the arrangements. I'm just going to mute a couple of these parts and then just kind of not build it entirely back up, but I want to build it up somewhat so you can kind of see like what the structure and or sequences are going to be and or why, right? So I'm muting out right now some kind of like accompaniment instruments, but I won't mute them all out just for the sake of like, us being able to kind of just move forward the way the track's actually going to go. So this part right here, so what you have right here is a tuba, right? So you got the tuba and you also have the chord sequences. So I'm gonna pretty much like let this portion of the track kind of be like the sequences with the verses, I believe. Actually, no, that's not it. That it's not gonna be stripped down that much, but I did want you guys to hear those sounds and hear how the chords work together, along with the other instruments to kind of just really build up the emotion of the song. You know what I mean? And to allow me to show you guys some of the contrast between like the first draft version from the beat video and what it is that we're inevitably gonna end up using for the actual track. So then, I have these solo instruments, but like for the most part, I want to have like the accompaniment horn parts going. Yeah. Bring that baritone in like that. So this is pretty much what like it's gonna be going for the verse portions of the track. Like during the verses, this is what's gonna be going on, and then when it gets time to like be in a more chorus mode, I think I'll have like, and I might have this mellophone part playing. This part playing along with that dee-da. I have that part going too during the verses because they're just supporting one another. But I think when it comes to the actual chorus, we'll have these trumpet parts going on right here too. Yeah, so that's what'll be going pretty much during the verses, and that lead trumpet and cornet line that goes like that lead trumpet part will not be going, I don't believe, during the verses. We'll bring that back when the chorus comes and everything like that. So that's pretty much like, in terms of like the sequences, the arrangement, the chords, the overall emotion of what I think everything's gonna sound like. And then, pretty much on the next section, what I'm gonna do is just basically capture some vocal recording sessions and highlight some key takes. I'm gonna show some of the layering processes, whether it's harmonies and or like dubs or ad-libs, including like, just me like maybe listening back to what it is I do and everything. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and actually like write a chorus part because I have two verses already, but I'm gonna just read over those two verse parts. Really listen to those things and just kind of think of a central theme that will unify both of those verses together, and that's gonna be it, y'all. Yeah. I wonder if you love what I did. Do you just love it because I did? I get curious about life's happenings quite literally like Three Stacks did. Thinking deeply about shallow things, like why I cross cultures. The dark suffer more than most, and that's not kosher. I felt them observing me with humor. It appeared to be presumed with pleasure. They saw me gathering another man's trash, but it was really my treasure. I hope you receive more than you plan to, exponentially exceeding your measure. I also hope some honesty and transparency innovate what you do to even better. I wonder if you love what I did. I also hope some honesty and transparency innovate what you do to do even better. I wonder if you love what I did. Do you just love it because I did? I get curious about life's happenings quite literally like Three Stacks did. Thinking deeply about shallow things, like why I cross cultures. The dark suffer more than most, and that's not kosher. I felt them observing me with humor. It appeared to be presumed with pleasure. They saw me gathering another man's trash, but it was really my treasure. I hope you receive more than you plan to, exponentially exceeding your measure. I also hope some honesty and transparency innovate what you do to do even better. I wonder if you love what I did. Do you just love it because I did? I get curious about life's happenings quite literally like Three Stacks did. Thinking deeply about shallow things, like why I cross cultures. The dark suffer more than most, and that's not kosher. I felt them observing me with humor. It appeared to be presumed with pleasure. They saw me gathering another man's trash, but it was really my treasure. I hope you receive more than you plan to, exponentially exceeding your measure. I also hope some honesty and transparency innovate what you do to do even better. I wonder if you love what I did. Do you just love it because I did? I get curious about life's happenings quite literally like Three Stacks did. Thinking deeply about shallow things, like why I cross cultures. The dark suffer more than most, and that's not kosher. I felt them observing me with humor. It appears check. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate this one. I'm gonna do it on top of the other one. I'm not quite sure like if I'm gonna try to like use a different voice or anything like that, but let's just so now we're kind of at the right now we're at the hook, we're at the chorus right now. And so I wrote this chorus kind of like off camera. I can't even remember, maybe like 2 clips ago, but I got this thing that I wrote down now. It's pretty funky. It's like I often wonder and I think about the years, then I ponder. I use my eyes and ears. Can I imagine? Dream bolder, surprise. Dream a bolder surprise. I feel special. The apple of the beholder's eye. So that's kind of what we got. And I'm gonna try to like dry run, kind of sing this thing so it can get like extra funky with like some layers and some, you know what I'm saying, like some some harmony and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's see. I often wonder, and I think about the years, then I ponder. I use my eyes and ears. Nah, that ain't it. I often wonder, and I think about the years, then I ponder. I use my eyes and ears. Can I imagine? Dream a bolder surprise. Alright, let's try this again. Okay, so the way we're gonna fix this chorus, I didn't keep the take, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all didn't hear that, but I just recorded like a really bad take, trying to put too many words in the chorus. So instead of putting what I put before, I'm gonna do something that's like, you're the apple of my eye. the beholder's eye. It's gonna be real simple. Beholder's eye. You're the apple of my eye, the beholder's eye. Sing it down an octave. You're the apple of my eye, the beholder's eye. You're the apple of my eye, the beholder's eye. You're the apple of my eye, the beholder's eye. You're the apple of my eye, the beholder's eye. You're the apple of my eye, the beholder's eye. I let them stacks, it's cool. You're the apple of my eye, the beholder's eye. You're the apple of my eye, the beholder's eye. I kind of slowed it down a bit for the last verse. We're getting in the flow of things, so, you know, you start off, you always be a little different, you know, once you've been going for a while. And notice how I said different, because some of our favorite artists, their beginning albums were our favorite albums, or some album where they did something a little bit weirder or different, or just, you know, breaking the pattern was something we love much. So don't you hope I can see? Don't you hope I... Time to dub it. Don't you hope I can see the beauty in everything? Perspective, perception, appreciation, connection, love language, affection, reciprocity, and direction. Don't you hope I can see the beauty in everything? Perspective, perception, appreciation. Gotta dub it again. Don't you hope I can see the beauty in everything? Perspective, perception, appreciation, connection, love language, affection, reciprocity, and direction. Don't you hope I can see the beauty in everything? Perspective, perception, appreciation, connection, love language, affection, reciprocity, and direction. Don't you hope I can see So what's going on, y'all? I appreciate y'all sticking with me with this thing, man, and just like figuring out how all of this was gonna go. I had a fun time. It was very reflective, when I think about it all, it's like after it all, like I think it turned out like I kind of feel like I ran out of smoke at the end, I feel like I ran out of gas at the end. I like my first verse like a whole lot. I like it. It's really I just like the flow of it all. I think I kind of wish my second verse were more like my first verse, but you know what I'm saying? It's all good. It's all to the good. I had fun. I haven't been writing and trying to singer songwrite and rap in a while and so I feel really good about what happened. If I were to compare the finished product to what my vision was, it wasn't really my vision. I feel like I imagined my voice sounding a little bit different, and that's okay. You know, last time I was writing more like raps. I hadn't written like singing type things in a while, so I'm just looking forward to like my chops getting better at writing and everything like that. Writing a better song, you know what I'm saying? Filling up the parts and everything in a good way. Um, but But yeah, man, I hope y'all dug the song. It would be very like marketing, like to like share a teaser of the song right now. But tomorrow's video, I'm gonna do a music video of me doing the song. So I'll just let y'all peep it tomorrow. So come check out the channel tomorrow, and you'll see, like a video of me. I'm gonna learn the song from front to back. You know what I'm saying? Because writing and learning your song are two different things. So I'm gonna learn my song. We'll do a music video on it tomorrow, so y'all can check out the music video tomorrow, man. Y'all take care and peace.